Hey everyone, and welcome to my weekly check-in vlog, where I take you along for the weekend to see how I'm doing and what I'm reading. My name is Wiebke, and this year I'm trying to get myself out of survival mode. Last weekend I left you on a little bit of a downer. I was feeling very exhausted and frustrated with how little I achieved of what I set out to do. So Monday morning, after I got some sleep and felt a little bit more motivated, I made a list of things that I wanted to get done during the week so I can have a nice relaxing reading weekend. And I managed to get at least all the cleaning done that I meant to do on the weekend, and I also managed to finish the last stories in 12 Post-War Tales by Graham Swift. Like I said, I really enjoyed the book. I love his writing. There are short stories that have people thinking about things that happen in the past, and they're usually connected or triggered by something that happens in the present right now. So it's always connections between the past and the present and how they shape what you are, who you are, or where you are. Highly recommend if you like short stories and are curious about his writing or a fan already. This weekend I'm hoping to read the Möbius book. You can start it on 2 sides, that's all I know about the book. I think it's memoir style, but I haven't decided which side I want to start yet, and I hope to read one side today and the other tomorrow. Not sure if that is possible, but that is the plan at least. But first, I really want to go running, and I hope to run a little bit more than last week. Last week I only managed 5K. I would love to go for 10K run, but when I managed to read and clean and catch up on other things as I wanted, I ended up skipping a lot of exercise, and work was a lot of sitting. I usually have a standing desk and stand, but there were things that we did where I needed to sit with other people at their desks. So I spent a lot of time not exercising and lying around or sitting. That usually doesn't help with my backache and with the running on the weekend. But we'll see. I'm starting a German classic on audio, Der Steppenwolf by Hermann Hesse, and I am not sure how long the audiobook will take. The normal length without speeding up is 8 hours, but I usually can speed up German books more than English books because they talk so slow and I understand them better. So it might be that I can double speed it and also finish on the weekend. I also only know it's a German classic and I really like Hermann Hesse's writing, but I always never end up reading him as much as I would like to. So that's the plan for now. Let's get started. Okay, people, I'm confused. I finished the first half of the Möbius book, so one story part, and I'm wondering if I imagined that it was classified as slow-paced and nonfiction, because this isn't nonfiction. The story is one Christmas evening where we have 2 friends basically talking about romantic love, relationships, and their lives a little bit, their friendship. A lot more as well is happening, but that's basically it. And the writing in the book is a lot like this. So very spacious. And you can just fly through it, and it's very unputdownable. You have these 2 women in conversation talking about recent breakups, their friendship, and the third in their friend circle and things that happened. They jump around between topics, but it's all about what's life about, what's love about, what is romantic love, does it exist, what is faith, and a lot of escaping to sexual fantasies with others and where that can lead and the problems that brings them. And yeah, it's good, I enjoyed it, but I'm very confused as to why this would be classified as nonfiction and slow-paced, or whether I imagined reading that. Couldn't tell. We'll see once I read the second half. Might start today. It's 3:30 now, so I basically read the first 90 pages in 3 hours, which is very fast for me. Not a typical reading pace. This morning, my run was very, very good. I enjoyed it immensely. I listened to Steppenwolf, which is a little bit confusing me at the moment, so I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but once I listen to more of it. I have about 3.5 hours left at 1.5 speed, so maybe I'll finish more tomorrow so that I have a better idea of what I'm listening to. I have some ideas, but it might be confusing as well, so I don't want to say something wrong about it. Now I think I need to go and do some mandatory toilet paper shopping. This is just classic Wiebke. I bought a lot of vegetables and things because I wanted to try this simple empanada recipe I found and make vegetarian lasagna tomorrow. So I just got home and I don't feel like cooking, so I'm probably just making some pasta with tomatoes. The simple and easy thing. That's just how it goes. I went to get some coffee and read more in the Möbius book. The Blue Side actually is nonfiction. It's about her recent breakup, her dealing with it, and going back and forth to the past of her life as a teenager when she had struggled with faith and was not eating because she believed in God. Something like that. I only read 30 pages so far, but it does read really well. I'm enjoying the slight humor of it, the way she talks about events and things, and also it does feel so clever. I cannot say it any different way, but the writing she uses is very clever. I really need to read more of Catherine Lacey. But now I have to cook. And it's Sunday afternoon already. I spent most of the day reading and finishing the Möbius book, the nonfiction side. And it's really captivating. It's hard to put down. There are no chapters. There are longer stretches of paragraphs or multiple paragraphs that link together, and then you get a break. And that makes it really fast to read, like a break like this between paragraphs. And you can just fly through it. You get deeply involved in everything that is going on. This nonfiction part is basically the story of her life, mostly dealing with grief after a recent breakup, talking about the relationship that is rather manipulative and controlling, talking about how violent men can enter our lives and how we let them and where they come from, talking about using sex as grief or to deal with grief via sex and random sex with people, dealing with faith and loss of faith and the importance of faith and how that influenced her life. And I really, at one point, I felt myself jealous at all the friends she had. She's basically moving from friend to friend to friend and talking about a lot of people who are going through similar situations, who she's finding a home for a while there while she is homeless, because she lived in a house with her partner, and after the breakup, of course, the house needs to get sold, and until that is done, she mentioned that she's pretty much low on cash, so that's why she's surfing around a lot of places, friends, and other places where she meets people. So, and I always think I'm not a jealous type, so that surprised me that I found myself very jealous of all the situations and friends and discussions she had, but it's probably only just the jealousy of all the amazing support she had and the events that happened after the breakup. It's not only the time after her breakup, but also looking back at other times in her life where she dealt with grief, breakups, and faith. And yeah, this book, the nonfiction side, coincides or talks to the fictional story, because there's also talk about faith, sexual fantasies, and breakups. And it's going back and forth, and I can see myself rereading it. That's what I'm saying when I like a book. But I am really curious how the book will work after you've read both sides and know the fictional and the non-fictional part and all the new things you can discover, that by the speed that I flew through this, I probably didn't catch everything that happened and that was mentioned. The writing, I'm really impressed by her writing. I really am curious about her other books, which I definitely need to add to my wish list, because that's something I want to explore. The more fictional sides and topics she discusses there, and also the way she writes. I don't think that you should go into this if you need trigger warnings without checking them, because there are quite a few things mentioned. Also, if you like linear storylines, this book is not for you. Even the nonfiction side jumps around back and forth without actually always telling you where you are. You're not lost while you're reading it, but I think if you're not used to that style of writing, it can be difficult. So right now the sun is back out, which is nice because it's 3 p.m. now. I'm currently, I don't want to call these things empanadas. The recipe called them empanadas. I don't think they are empanadas, but I'm making pastry, stuffed pastry filled with vegetables, something like that. And I am going to take them out to the Moschee on a bike ride to listen to more of Steppenwolf and also get some more sunshine. And I hope the weather holds, because at some point it looked like rain and I was very disappointed. But I want to go and cycle to Moschee, have a picnic there, and then cycle back and hopefully listen to an hour or two more of Steppenwolf. I don't think I can finish it today because I'm not sure I can concentrate as much, but I do want to listen a little bit more, and then I can tell you what I think about the book. That may have been a little bit too much cycling. I went to Marseille, had a little break, had my snacks and picnic, and then came back. So it was about 2 hours of cycling. So I listened to about 2 more hours of Der Steppenwolf. And now I can talk about it a little bit more. So in total, I listened to about 2/3 of the book. And the beginning is a little confusing because you get an introduction where someone tells you about the main character and their life. Then there's a lot of philosophizing about identity, which didn't give me any context where the book wanted to go. Now things are progressing and we're hearing thoughts from notes and diaries that our main character left behind. So we're basically following, or the book is about a 50-something-year-old man who is mostly suffering from the, let's say, Weltschmerz a little bit. It's life is hard and he's suffering and things are difficult and he's sad, he's unhappy. He calls himself or regards himself as a Steppenwolf, meaning that he has 2 identities. One is an intellectual that strives to be better, and one is the wild side that is looking for the baser needs that humans have or animals have. And a lot about the philosophizing in the beginning was that is a very limited world view, that there's not just 2 identities living in a human, but there's multiple identities that there are there, and that the main character hasn't discovered that yet, and that he's concentrating and focusing on the pain of not fitting in. He's striving for independence from the bourgeoisie, from being the societal norm and fitting in, and he's living on the edge of that. He's not completely broken free from the bourgeois lifestyle because he lives a very bourgeois, in German it's bürgerlich. I'm not sure if bourgeois is the complete perfect description for that, but you know, the little life that you have with your parents that society expects from you. The book plays in between the 2 world wars. It was published, I think, in 1927, and our main character has always been against war, but he was outspoken, but not in a way outspoken enough to threaten his life. And he's being criticized for being outspoken about the next war that is coming, that is obvious in the society and people know about it, but people pretend not to know. But he's not outspoken enough to be dangerous to himself. He's against capitalism, but he's not really fighting against it, and he's profiting from it in some ways. This is sort of the character that we have. This man that is very, very unhappy with his life and very sad about an ordinary day. But also there's a huge section about suicide ideation as a way out. And our main character is always like that as well. That if things get too horrible, the idea of being able to take his own life, to get out of things, is always there. And the part where I left off yesterday morning was in the middle of the suicide ideation chapter, and I didn't know where this wanted to go. And it went where the main character decides, okay, yeah, I've had enough. But then on the way home, when he decided, when I get home, I'm going to take my life, he gets so scared of death, of dying, that he runs away to I think it's a bar. And there he meets a young woman who's challenging him to just let go. And they make a deal that she's going to order him around and he's going to do something for her in return. And basically what's happening now is that she is teaching him how to live, how to enjoy life a little bit more, and to not be so sad and serious all the time. I really don't know where the end is going, but so far I am really enjoying this. There's a lot of ideas in there about identity, about life, and also how people see themselves and how limited our worldviews often are, that we are binary, or maybe not even binary, but that we just follow one path, ignoring that there could be much more in us than just that. So overall, I think it's good that I didn't listen or read this book earlier. Like I said, it's a German classic. I've been aware of it for years and been meaning to read it for years, but I'm not sure if I would have enjoyed it as much as I'm doing now. So that's good. Sometimes you need to read the books at the right time. And that's going to be it for today. I'm really, really tired now from all the cycling, and I need to lie down and not do anything. Overall, I had a really, really good weekend. It's been a while since I allowed myself to only read and have the only goal of achievement to finish books and spend so much time just reading and doing nothing. That was nice. Now, I also want to thank you for all your kind words and comments. Let me know how your weekend was. Have you read any of the books that I've read this weekend, or what have you read? Let me know. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.